What is up, amigos? Come in. Welcome in. It is a gorgeous September the 1st, 2023. That is the day that this is being recorded. You are watching this on the premiere on September the 7th, 2023. Just an hour or more before the kickoff of the Detroit Lions and the Kansas City Chiefs to begin the 2023 National Football League season. Unlike last year, for this video, I'm determined to get all this in one take and not have to worry about the overheating of the phone this time and make it two separate videos like last year. I'm prepared with this phone resting against my ice water. I don't know, pray for me. But like last year, we'll do this the exact same way. We're gonna go through conference by conference, followed by the January, February, week by week postseason, and that's gonna be it. We're gonna have complete records, complete standings, complete analysis. It's going to be a straight read. Results in the playoffs, and then a final score for the Super Bowl. All right, you guys ready? Let's start with the American Football Conference East. These are my picks. All right. If you're disagreeing with them, you can say something in the room, or you can post in the live stream, the premiere video comment section, and just let me know. So in first place, I have Soft Angelica and Shawkinators Buffalo Bills at 12-5. So Buffalo shored up the offensive line with free agent McGovern and rookie Torrance in the offseason. Now, the team faltered down the stretch in 2022, but keep in mind that injuries were a big factor. And defensive coordinator Frazier is no longer here to choke in the postseason, with McDermott back to handling much of the defensive calls. So that'll help. Buffalo will take the AFC East despite other suitors this year, but their window to win it all may have slammed shut last January in that home snow game versus the Bengals. Boy, what a choke job that was. Second place, I got the Miami Dolphins at 10-7. Now, some people have them winning the division, and that's no long shot. The rush defense was top 5 in the NFL last year, and the pass defense will be better with rookie Cam Smith and veteran Jalen Ramsey. A lot of people understand that Ramsey is an elite cover corner, but he is also an elite run stopper. Vic Fangio, as defensive coordinator, will also be a big help. The offense, it speaks for itself and how talented it is, but the biggest concern to me is Tua, who has had trouble staying on the field. Let's say he starts 14 games this year. If he starts 14 games and he's mostly healthy, they can win the division. Backup Mike White is one of the better reserve quarterbacks in the league, but that won't be enough to get it done if he has to start like half the season. But if he were to come in there for start 3 games, I think they could go 2-1 and hold the fort down for Tua's return. And he could have a breakout season. They could win the division. But I got the Dolphins at 10-7. Third place, I got the New England Patriots. Remember last year, I forgot 2 teams. The AFC East had to post it down at the bottom of the description. That was pretty embarrassing. Slicky, Swiftology, DNR. I got the Patriots at 7-10. Now, the only improvement here on this team is that Mac Jones now has an actual offensive coordinator. this season, unlike last year. But he appears, in my opinion, to have reached his ceiling as a QB. From the top to bottom, this organization just doesn't seem to be on the same page anymore. I don't like New England at all this year, so I got them 7-10 and in third place in the division. Fourth place, I got the New York Jets B-Mile DPCX. Mr. Met. The rest of you guys, I got them at 6-11. It's only 6 victory pizzas for DP this year. There sure is a lot of bluster over a team that can't ever seem to put up more than 7 wins in a season. Breece Hall's ACL recovery, no suitable targets after Garrett Wilson, a defensive line that can't stop the run, and a brutal schedule are all red flags ignored by the fantasy geeks who just can't seem to keep their eyes off number 8. This clown Rodgers couldn't get a solid Green Bay team to a 500 record last year, so what makes you think it's going to be any different for the New York Jets? AFC North, I got the number 1. First place, I got the Baltimore Ravens at 11-5-1. What killed the Ravens last year was a lack of QB depth. A lack of cornerback depth, leading them to blowing 5 late fourth quarter double-digit leads. Not good. The maturation of safety Hamilton plus the Yassine signing will be huge for that secondary. A more dynamic offensive coordinator, the addition of 2 veteran receivers, plus a rookie first-rounder, Flowers, one of the NFL's best offensive lines and best head coaches will spear Baltimore into first place in the North. In second place, I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals at 11-6. Now, health at key positions will give Cincinnati their best bet to three-peat as division champions, and they can stay healthy at those positions. But it will be a tall task in this division, which is perhaps the best division in the National Football League. Burrow's hopes of keeping his receiving core together will be a problem following this season. So now is the time to back up all that talk and bravado and actually win something. There's also a lot of pressure on the new left tackle, Orlando Brown. In second place, I have the third place, I have the Pittsburgh Steelers at 10-6-1. Now, they had a drop-off in sacks in 2022, and they will need a return to form there for Pittsburgh to get back to the postseason. T.J. Watt, of course, and others. Second-year wide receiver George Pickens will experience a breakout year, fantasy geeks, but you probably already are aware of that. There's a winning culture here, and Tomlin's worst years, the worst years that Mike Tomlin has are like 9-win seasons with a lot of injuries. This is going to be a fine year for the Steelers, folks. I'm telling you. Duck dick. It's going to be a good year for you guys. Now, the tie I got. Now, usually we see, this is the first time I've ever picked a tie in predictions. We're seeing a tie, about 1 tie every year, sometimes 2. And I feel like if any matchup is going to end with that result, it's going to be Ravens-Steelers, who last year, both games were very, very close. I believe they're going to knot it up this year in one of those games, which will ultimately help Pittsburgh into the playoffs. The Browns are going to be 4th place at 9-8, though. Like I said, best division in the NFL. The Browns mostly look like a lost ship in 2022. It won't be that bad this year, John Boy, JHL, Eli. Watson is back. He's sharp. His line is still the backbone of the offense. Jimmy Schwartz was a great addition as defensive coordinator, and he will keep them stable and productive and fighting for a playoff spot. Rookie Dorian Thompson-Robinson is an electric player who can be a weapon, a very nice weapon if utilized correctly. Let's go to the AFC South. We go to one of the worst divisions. So the Jaguars are number 1, 11-6. If the Jaguars don't win the South in 2023, Peterson should be fired immediately. This division will be a train wreck, but it won't be an up for grabs division like it's been the last few years, boys. In 2 seasons, Jacksonville went from complete chaos. Remember that? Urban Meyer, etc. 3 wins. It seems like that was a long time ago, doesn't it? They went from complete chaos to being the obvious, sexy favorite. How are we looking? To go deep in the postseason, the AFC. Tougher schedule? Not really when you're playing the AFC South. All right, second place. Okay, we got the Tennessee Titans at 6-11. This is the year that Tennessee falls off considerably. Once Tannehill is benched, you have 2 tomato cans that they picked in back-to-back drafts, that being Willis and Levis. And the secondary was the worst in the NFL. Now, Derrick Henry had another Hall of Fame season despite the atrocious offensive line, but he has more tread on his tires than, yep, you guessed it, Tom Boffey's beat-up 1997 Honda Accord and that left bucket seat. Solid coaching and veteran leadership will be the only things that the Titans, keeping the Titans barely over the other 2 awful teams in the division. And here are those 2 teams. Third place, Texans, 5-12. This division is just horrible. Houston has some pretty bad skill position players posing as weapons. Free agent Schultz from Dallas is a lackluster tight end. I saw him make so many drops last year. And this alone will stunt Stroud's development in his rookie season. I will say that they're making smart decisions with their offensive line. Big money free agent left tackle Tunsil and second-round rookie center Scruggs. Also, you got to give credit to bug-eyed general manager Nick Caserio for what he did on draft night. When he pulled his gonads out of his slacks, plopped them up on the table, and gambled big time by trading up for 2 massive top 3 cornerstone picks. Whew, that was huge. Fourth place, I got the Indianapolis Colts. If Indy has any hopes of doing anything this year, those hopes rest on a pretty good defense, but the new coach is unknown, and starting raw rookie quarterback A-Rich in week 1 is going to lead to a lot of mistakes, a lot of growth, hopefully, for them, and it's just going to be a long year for... So maybe running back Zach Moss can save them. I don't know. Zach Moss. All right, let's go to the AFL West, as Bolts likes to call it. We got first place, the Kansas City Chiefs at 14-3. It's been nearly 20 years since a team has won back-to-back world championships. The last one being the 2003-2004 seasons of the New England Patriots. They beat the Panthers and the Eagles, respectively, in those Super Bowls. This is the daunting task facing Kansas City. There's just too much stability here with Mahomes, Reed, Spags and Balls, Kelsey, and others, all set in place to make another run in January. In the draft, they added a sack machine to an already stout defensive front, and free agent, sure-handed tackler Tranquil will be a game changer for the less than stellar linebacker corps. All right, second place in the AFC West. got the Denver Broncos, boys. I got them at 10-7. Bounce back year for Denver. If the arrival of Sean Payton can't solve Wilson's struggles, nothing will. After looking like a completely different quarterback most of 2022, the former Seahawks star did demonstrate his old self in the final 2 games of last year. Head coach Nathaniel Hackett, remember, he had been fired, and the remaining coaches tweaked the offense to Wilson's strengths. Now, while Payton has vowed to do the same this year, there are hints that Wilson isn't even his most prized signal caller on the roster. Back in March of this year, the former Saints head coach praised Jarrett Stidham, remember him, Swift, as a quote, ascending player who can be an NFL star, end quote. All right, we'll see how that goes. We'll see if that causes any rifts in the locker room this year. Payton also values line play. He signed free agents McGlinchey and Powers, which was very helpful and needed. The secondary is tops in the NFL, and it will keep Denver in games versus the pass-happy AFC West. Now, that's huge to have that great secondary in this division. Don't forget that, guys. All right, 3rd place in the AFL West. I got the LA Chargers finishing at 9-8 this year. Eckler continues to produce impressive numbers, but he's unhappy. I think that's going to cause some problems this year. Overall, the running game is near the bottom of the league. The defensive line is weak as well. And on paper, the Chargers are a defense that can get after the quarterback, but Bosa is now injury prone, and Khalil Mack is now battling Father Time. So with these factors, plus wide receiver Keenan Allen most likely in his final season in LA, the Chargers can feel a window of opportunity starting to close. 4th, let me say another thing. Their coach is not very good. They have a very bad head coach, and that's not good when you're in a division with Reed and Payton, okay? And Justin Herbert has not shown that he can take that step into the elite level, as shown by that gag job, that 27-point gag job in the postseason. This is the year he really needs to step it up. Raiders at 4th place. Raiders, Darth Puppy. Darth Puppy. Hang on a second, guys. Loyal Dog. Mombania. Hey, Mamba. I got him 5-12. What do you think about that? I just don't think they're very good this year. I'm trying to listen for that train, Jordan. I haven't heard it yet. Cornerback Hobbs of the Raiders was a rookie surprise in 2022 for Las Vegas. And tight end Mayer has a pretty good chance to be one of the NFL's best rookies this year. But the Raiders are just caught in a pretty stacked division, and there's little in the pass rush other than Max Crosby. So if the Raider fans can hang their hat on anything going well in 2023, it's the new quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo. Slickoppolo has a proven winning pedigree. He just has a problem staying on the field like Tua. All right. That's the end of the AFC. All right. It could be the beginning of the Aiden McConnell era this year. I think it will be. I was trying to think of that guy's name. Aiden McConnell, the rookie 4th rounder, I believe. For you guys, Darth. NFC. Let's go to the National Football Conference. 1st place in the NFC East. One of the best division in the NFC by far. I got the Philadelphia Eagles, just like Gideon said last night. Gideon picked the Eagles. Getting warm here on this September the 1st, boys. September the 1st. It's getting warm here today. It's going to get warmer. All right, how's everybody doing with the trivia tonight? Trivia. The game is going to be starting in probably about maybe less than an hour now. Less than an hour now. Philadelphia looks to reduce the rushes of Jalen Hurts this year while expanding the use of running backs in the passing game. Hey, what's up, Neil? Kneeling Princess. Who is your team? Kneeling? Do you even have an NFL team? Particularly with Gainwell and Swift. Eagles 52. Do you like this pick? 14-3. Eagles 52. The team likely won't be fortunate enough to have near perfect health 2 seasons in a row. That really helped them last year. They were very fortunate to have that great health. The Eagles had a frighteningly deep draft, and they destroy teams in the trenches with the best interior lines in the NFL. This alone provides them with a legit shot of breaking that Super Bowl loss curse and reaching Vegas in February. Second place. Gideon had Giants second place. I got the Dallas Cowboys at 12-5. How's that sound? Free jack balls? You like that? Is that good? Kari Thaggood. Your team's going to go 12-5. Kari, are you in tonight in the trivia room? Doing some, playing some trivia? I know you're a huge fan of trivia. Kari Thaggood. Gotta love her. One of my favorites. I love Kari. Don't you guys? Kari's awesome. She's fun. Her Cowboys have an excellent defense, but it can't be on the field as much as it was last year. The running game is the only hope to help minimize that defense being on the field so much, but that's a question now with Pollard recovering from that ankle injury. All right, Dak Prescott, now 30, has missed 17 starts in the last 3 seasons. His league-leading 15 interceptions and poor decision-making in the clutch is the main reason that playoff success continues to elude Dallas. But McCartney and Jones are confident that this is the year that they make it to at least the NFC title game. Since his rookie campaign, Prescott has never had serious competition. Lance, now looming in his shadow, may be the extra motivation he needs to get the boys over the hump. Third place, I got the New York Giants. I don't have them doing as well as Joseph does. Giants were last year's NFC playoff team that didn't seem to belong there. And then they advanced. They won their game against Minnesota in the wild card on the road, and they advanced to divisional round. They'll need more takeaways and sacks on defense if they're going to prove that 2022 wasn't a fluke. And head coach Brian Dable will need to take off quite a few pounds if he wants to prove that he's not fat. In fourth place, I got the Washington Commanders. I posted this in detail a few nights ago, game by game. So I did a separate video on this for the Commanders. I got them finishing 6-11. That's more wins than I've had them recently. Unlike in the past, the Commanders now have an actual NFL roster with some depth. While the defense is much ballyhooed in the D.C. area, it ranked near the bottom in creating turnovers last season. So that's not a very good defense. What's worse is that they did little to improve the offensive line. Change at the top is good news, but big change on the field won't take place until the entire facility is fumigated of the stench of Snyder. That means Wright, Mayhew, Rivera, Del Rio, likely Bieniemy by extension. Howell and Young are all toast after 2023. So is the name and the stadium will be leaving too. NFC North, I got in first place, the NFC, what does Berman call it? The Norris division. In first place, I got your Green Bay Packers at 11-6. Green Bay's defense needs to find a way to be good in spite of defensive coordinator Joe Barry, who has been a joke in the NFL for years now. Now, they do have one of the better cornerback trios in the league. Preston Smith is a pass rushing veteran, a very solid one, and rookie Van Ness is ready to make his mark. The Packers made a wise decision in retaining their running back tandem. The offensive line, ranked 3rd overall in 2022, has quality depth and will be central at keeping new quarterback Love comfortable and moving the ball downfield. All right, second place in the NFC North. Frank Addington has the Minnesota Vikings at 10-7. Minnesota will need to prove that their 13 wins last year wasn't a mirage. They were 11-0 in one-score contests while being outscored in their losses by an average of 22 points. Brian Flores is now on hand. He should be pretty good to try a miracle with this anemic defense. It's got to be better than last year. And Cousins' time here is nearing the end. Cousins. But they still have enough spark to make it into the playoffs. Third place, I got the Detroit Lions, 8-9. 8-9. They have a fun offense for the fantasy geeks to get excited about, but they lost Swift, and wide receiver Williams looks like a bust. Swift. There are voids here outside of St. Brown, fantasy dorks. Remember that. Defense was also last in the NFL last season, and too many people are picking Detroit to win the North this year, and their history of coming through on high expectations is pretty bad. Take my advice and run the other direction, guys. Except for you fantasy geeks. Fourth place, I got the Chicago Bears. Jay Weed, Bear Scout. It's gonna be another year in the cellar, boys. Sorry, guys, Mr. Bears. Anybody remember Mr. Bears on AOL football? The defense was the worst it's been since the 1940s. The wide receiver, tight ends, targets are the same as they've been since the 1940s. And when your quarterback leads the team in rushing, that's a terrible sign. So it looks like another long year for the Bears. 5-12. NFC South. All right, here we go. Maybe this is probably the worst division in the NFL going into the year. Panthers, first place, 10-7. Defensive end Derek Brown will have a breakout season in the new 3-4-D, with Tuttle continuing to be a tackle machine and Brian Burns a premier linebacker. I really like Burns on the defense as a leader. This is all assuming that defensive assistant Dumb Capers doesn't get in the way. All right. I was never high on Young at Alabama, but he is a winner, and something that tells me that he will prove me and other doubters wrong. And he will do it very, very soon. The Panthers' offensive line returns all 5 starters, so that's good. Reich. I'm getting me a Reich picture. Frank Reich is here. He's going to put Young in position to be successful this year. And Miles Sanders was brought in to shore up the backfield. That's a big signing, guys. Getting him away from the Eagles. It's big. Young's targets are not household names, but Mingo will provide great yards after catch. And free agent Thielen will be a very good safety valve for Young. The de facto favorite... Oh, whoops. Going off script here. All right. Saints. 7-9-8. Okay, so I got them 9-8. 9-8. Last summer I was way over the top on the Saints. Remember that? Way over the top. And I'm going a little bit too far. This year they are the de facto favorite to win their division by many people. So the offensive line is petering out now. Michael Thomas is